Alrighty, what's up guys? What's up guys? It's the Khaiza, right? Today is Sunday, right? I'm not forgetting the days, right? Damn, there's so many days go on by, and welcome back. Today is another Khaiza Dojo. That's right, another Khaiza Dojo video. For those that don't know, welcome to the Khaiza Dojo. It is a kind of like a classroom lecture discussion type of video, right? Me like talking about a specific like fighting game like topic, or like a certain like genre, or a certain like incident that happened, like a real talk or something like that, you know? And just talk about it like in detail, because like this is like a kind of like a melding of both worlds, and it's like a passion project for me. It's kind of like a passion project that I do back at like what, last summer I believe, and yeah, it's just like a fun pastime. But the problem with Khaiza Dojo videos is that I usually don't get enough time to do a Khaiza Dojo video, because like before then it was like, you know, work and like school and like just so much like stuff that's just like drilled in my head. And you know how I am, or like anybody that watches me on stream, which is twitch.tv/khaizakahn. I'll leave it like up there, somewhere, anywhere where my finger points. But yeah, things can get like, I don't maintain like a certain like structure when it comes to my Khaiza Dojos. If I'm like overwhelmed with work, then I feel like I'm overloaded, and I just can't deal with that right now. But we are doing it today. Why? Because I'm doing like a Khaiza Dojo topic that's been long overdue, right? This was something like planned back in like October. And you know, why not do it then now? Because, you know, like, who knows, I might put this project on hold for like a year, and I don't want to be lazy with my like passion projects or passion videos. So we're doing that now, right? And you know, what's this topic that's been like brought up in like October, even though like it was supposed to be there like before that latest Khaiza Dojo that was like in December? Right? This one is all about Super Smash Brothers! Yes, Super Smash Brothers, right? And we are going to have some special guests, right? We're gonna have some special guests. They are in the, they are in the waiting list. I asked, some homies, right? Some homies who are very much well versed into like the Smash verse or the Smash lore. So let's get them up, right? So we got like some Discord homies that can come on by and chill on by. All right, so we're gonna start this off. Please welcome our boy Jerry. Say hi, Jerry. We're on the YouTube. Today's episode for this Khaiza Dojo, we brought Jerry here because the topic for today is about, again, I'll say it again, Super Smash Brothers. Let's cue the Super Smash Brothers melee yell. This was a long overdue Khaiza Dojo that I wanted to do since like October, because since like October, what was the one thing that was in October for Smash Brothers? More importantly, it was Sora, and Sora was the last character for Smash Ultimate. So that makes the game quote unquote dead, right? Because we're not sure, right? We're not sure that we're gonna get another Smash Brothers. Sadly. And so this brought into my mind, like, hey, why don't we talk about like Smash Brothers like as like a discussion table, right? Because we've all grew up in Smash Brothers. We all lived in Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers is one of those iconic fucking franchises that has been here from like inception back in the N64 to like now, and it's still one of the best quote-unquote fighters out there. I'll like discuss that later. But it is one of the best-selling games next to like some other games like Animal Crossing, maybe Mario Kart, sure. What other like top-selling Nintendo Switch games? Pokemon is also there. That's true. There's so many other like IPs in Nintendo's catalog that is like has equal the same amount of sales as Smash Brothers or even more. I think like they're like the top 10 or like the top 6, which is wild, especially for like a simple like fighting game like Smash Brothers is, a platform fighting game. And what we're gonna be doing is like, I got some like sections, right? But let's start off with like, first point is, you know, where did we first witness Smash Brothers? And what I mean is that where did we see Smash Brothers at a specific point in time? Where did we first became aware of Smash Brothers? What was the first game that we played? So on and so forth, right? So let's start off with like Jerry. I don't want to maybe on the spot, but let's start off with you, homie. Where did you like first saw and like seen Smash Brothers?
That's actually a pretty easy one. Pretty much, I grew up with a GameCube, so I grew up with Melee. Even though I didn't really know what Smash was, I played it very casually with my other brother. Like, we would have fun, play with items, you know. He would play Mario, I'd play, I think it was, I actually don't remember who I played, but I do remember my older brother playing Mario. It was very like low-key, like I didn't think of Smash as a fighting game when I was a kid. I just thought it was like a fun, you know, party game that I had fun with as a kid. Then from there, it pretty much stayed the same. When Brawl came out, I thought of it the same. We had fun, we played with items. I didn't take Smash seriously until I went to college. And then I met a group of people who were playing Smash 4 on the 3DS and on the Wii U. And then from there, I wasn't competitive, but I figured out what the competitive rule set was and like how it was to play Smash, quote unquote, in a more controlled, competitive environment, even though I didn't take the game too seriously. But that's like how I got into Smash.
Right. That's very funny because when I first like saw Smash Brothers, I think I remember this point in time specifically. For my Smash origins, for anybody watching, I was at my old house in 44 Alder Street. I live in Society Hill. I still do to this day. And back in my old house, when my dad was around, we would have like, I think I remember the living room there. We would have like the window side area, and we would have like one, and I had like those like, I shit you not, IKEA ass like egg like table and seats. Like, holy shit, right? Like, I do not know how the fuck did we get like something like that, but damn, dude, it is pretty crazy. It is pretty interesting, like, for my family when it comes to like furniture and stuff. But anyway, I first saw Smash Brothers on one of my dad's. I saw the message. I saw it from my dad's old, what was it? Old brand computer, like compact laptop, right? That shit's like Stone Age. And from there, I watched like an IGN trailer of Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And I remember like the fucking feeling I had with that game specifically, where I was super ecstatic. I was super engrossed with it. The music was fire in Brawl. If anybody remembers Brawl, it was the fucking holy choir. Oh, so. It was so goddamn beautiful. And it was so hype. And from then on, I wanted to like anticipate myself for the next Smash game. But it was me being the dumbass kid that I didn't know. I didn't have like a Nintendo GameCube, so I bought one, and then I went backwards. I bought Melee, and I just played super casual, like 4-player fun, just by myself. I didn't have any friends at the time, right? Back then, to play with, but I had a lot of people to play. I had a lot of time. I had a lot of time to play the game casually, and from then on, I became a Super Smash Bros. Fan. Went to Brawl, went to 3DS, and when 3DS or like Wii U was the time where I got into super competitiveness. Audio issues, maybe. Gotcha. I love you, Skater. But yeah, like that's where I grew up, like my foundational skills for Smash Brothers. And you know, I started taking the game, like I said, a little bit seriously around the 3DS era, and when it got hella bombing, very specifically for one character in Super Smash Bros., which we'll like get to at like a later point, right? But yeah, 3DS, and I think I like stopped being like a Smash fan afterwards. After like, you know, certain instances in my personal life, per se, right? That was at a time when, family crises, stuff like that. Dad passes away. It was at the inconvenient time when Smash was coming out, and then, you know, Dad was in the hospital, so I had to take care of him. But of course, that's family, so you had to like take care of that. But even then onwards, right? I was not really a super jazzed fan of Smash Brothers since that time, for specific reasons. And let's see. Skater is typing. Let me see what you guys say, homie. But like Jerry said, we're gonna go through some of the more Smash verse topics. We just were talking about our Smash origins with that game. What specific place and time did we grew up in Smash Brothers, and how and like stuff like that, right? And if people are like joining late, that's okay, right? Eskater, you can join in via text or voice call. It's totally preferable to both sides. I'll relay the messages. I'll adapt to them. So next topic is, let's see what we can think about, right? What is like the impact of Smash Brothers per se? And what I mean by that is like, you know, we touched upon it a little bit at the beginning, is, oh hey, Smash Brothers is like that game, right? It's a game that like everybody plays, right? So for us, did we like know that it would like pop off that much, right? Because like for fighting games, they pop off like a little bit, but not for something like Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers always has that momentum, that hype, that even with the new character update, things the game would still get a lot of publicity, a lot of like charisma, right? So how much of like an impact do we like think, right, that it made? Oh yeah, yes, that was it. Thank you, Jerry. Yes, how much of a cultural impact that Smash Brothers made, right? Like, holy,
really
like
huge. It's its own subgenre in fighting games, which you know said before, which is a platform fighter. There are so many quote unquote clones of Smash. You know, like Brawlhalla, Rivals of Aether. There's so many. So even in of itself with that, just that, you can see it that other games, clearly there's like a winning formula if a genre spawned from it. And then I've heard people, you know, compare Smash to being like a sort of like multiverse of stuff for video games. Like it's like a grand slam, or like the Marvel MCU, which has all of your favorite superheroes coming together. You know, whether it be Iron Man or Thor. That's what a lot of people feel Smash is for video games. It's not even about being a fighting game anymore. It's just about being a celebration of video games.
Right. Yo, exactly. It is a celebration of video games. Like before then, right? If we're like talking like N64 or Melee, even then alone, it had much of like an impact. Like the crazy fucking fan fantasies that we would come up for this game. Yo, Mario is taking on the Legend of Zelda, Link, holy shit! And he's got Kirby, and there's Pikachu in there, and there's like so many people. What the fuck, dude? Like, wow, it's like super fucking crazy. It is like orgasmic. And as that feeling went on with like later Smash Brothers, we start to see like, oh shit. I think like the biggest ones was like in Brawl, right? Everybody agrees that like the two biggest characters to be in like a Super Smash Brothers game were two very specific ones: Sonic and Snake. Like, holy crap, Sonic and Snake. These dudes. And at that time, they were like, okay, at that time, Sega and Konami were like a little bit okay, right? Back in the day, but the fact that Nintendo got those two specific mascot characters was insane, right? And like speaking of which, right? As what Jerry said, like those characters bring in like the hype, right? Those characters were like literally like Mugen levels of like official release. Like that shit speaks it for itself. So I wanna ask, right? Either voice or text. When we get back to E-Skater, we'll ask him the two previous questions and probably do like some edits here and there, right? But my next question was like, you know, as you said, Jerry, it's like a collection of video games, a lot of video game memorabilia that is in Smash Brothers. It would practically be called a video game museum. So my thing was like, and I brought this example, Sonic and Snake being in Smash Brothers, and that shit alone brought like so much hype. And what was like the character that really got you hyped when they were added in Smash at that time?
I mean, the earliest one, because I played Brawl when it had already come out, so I wasn't really hyped for like the introduction for Brawl. But with Smash 4, I was like super hyped when they announced Cloud. Like I was so hyped. Like the music of the trailer, hearing the Final Fantasy theme, Final Fantasy 7 theme, that shit, you know, fucking goosebumps. That was like the character that I was like, yo, Cloud's in Smash? What the fuck?
Yeah, oh my god. Yeah, Cloud was such a big fucking character. Oh my god. I remember that in what was it? When I was watching, I didn't watch the direct specifically from Nintendo's Smash Cloud trailer, but I do remember like watching a reaction trailer, and that was from Maximilian_dude, and reason why, because like I love Max. I love the shit that he does. He is like one of my favorite FG like content creators, and he is a super big Final Fantasy fan. So he was checking out the trailer out, and he was like, "Oh fuck you, Nintendo! No way, Cloud's fucking here!" The amount of energy that he got from Cloud was like literally awesome, right? My one, and I think this is an easy guess.
I didn't have a scene, to be honest with you. I guess if I had to have a scene, I guess when I was a kid, like right after 64 Smash, I used to play Melee in the band hall. So that's usually where I used to play like a lot of the dudes there. And I remember the second question, and easily for me it was Sonic, since I did grow up in the '90s, and Mario and Sonic, and that whole rivalry was pretty big back then.
Oh, yo, for real. Like, everybody remembers the Mario, Sonic, and the Olympics, those like game series, which are still going on to this day. Oh my god, yeah. It's the Nintendo Sega rivalry, which was like fucking beautiful. Every single time, they're just like pitting heads. It's so great.
When I was growing up, it was they used to have flash games on like what was it, Newgrounds or something like that, of like Mario and Sonic like duking it out all the time.
Oh.
So like to see Sonic and Brawl was honestly like a lot bigger than Mario and Sonic at the Olympics.
Would you agree, Jerry? Yeah.
I mean, 100%. I remember the beef.
I remember.
Bro, when they ported over the adventure games on GameCube, that was it. I know a lot of Sonic fans were like, "Oh shit, it's over." You know, the Dreamcast is over. It's pretty big.
Yeah, that was pretty huge one. I mean, my first game on the GameCube was Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh my god, that's beautiful. Oh my lord. But E-Skater, when did you like get into the competitive side of Smash Bros? Because I remember you were talking about it a bit on like Twitter and sometimes on Discord a bit.
I'll be honest, just recently, since I never got to go competitive unless it was at an arcade in Mexico. But other than that, I recently just got into like the tournament scene here in Houston.
Oh yeah. I saw it on your like your servers, like it would set up like mini Houston like tournaments. Yeah, that's really dope. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to do my own stuff, but I'm in school, so there's not a whole lot going on. So right now, I just try to show up whenever I can.
Oh, of course, understandable. Like if you have like work, that's totally understandable. Okay, so covered like characters. Oh yeah, also like this would be also a backup question, also for you, E-Skater, like the cultural impact of Smash Brothers. How much like do you think like that's obvious, right? But it's how much of like an impact do you think like Smash Brothers has made over the years?
I was listening to Jerry when he was talking about it, and honestly, I think he hit it on the head. I mean, it basically created the platform fighter, like it's his own genre. Like off of like all the clones that spun off of it. Just kind of like how when Street Fighter first came onto the scene, and then that one didn't do so great, so that was kind of like what Smash 64 was. And then when they made Street Fighter 2 and all those people deflected from Capcom to SNK, and then SNK basically started making a whole bunch of clones, it's kind of what a lot of the Smash clones did too. Like they basically made their own genre of video games by trying to emulate something that was already successful. So to like minimize the impact that Smash has had on not just like fighting games, but video games as a whole, like it can't be understated.
Exactly. We all like joke around with like Smash Brothers that like it is the museum, the collective global museum of every single like IP and platform, and every single like dream character that is not Mugen in this game. And they look so good and they look so flavorful. They look pretty fantastic, right? It is like the like game if it's not like Mugen. It is basically like a versus game to an extent. It is like the Marvel vs. Capcom of Nintendo, except it's not just two companies, but it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like I forget how many companies. I want to say like 10 different like companies that are just like in this game and just like duking it out. It's crazy.
I think it's more, for me, it's more like King of Fighters, to be honest with you, because it's mostly just one company, like at first it was just Nintendo characters, like kind of like how SNK basically only had their characters in the game, and they basically still do. But then after that, then they started collaborating with Capcom,
Yeah.
And then Capcom collaborated with Marvel and stuff like that. So like it's sort of like started off as more like what KOF was, and then it sort of just morphed into what Versus used to do.
I feel that exactly. Oh my god. Okay, so got down to like some of those questions. Now, this is more on like the competitive aspects, or not. Let's save competitive aspects for like later. This is more like on gameplay, right? Gameplay of Smash Brothers. Since this is like fighting game like discussions, Smash Brothers plays very much differently from other fighting games, right? And there's always like that moniker of like for fighting games where it's like either hard to learn, easy to master, or easy to learn, hard to master. Sort of those like branches. And Smash Brothers is like one of those easy to learn, hard to master. And it's quote unquote a fighting game, right? There's always like, oh, it's not a fighting game, it's a platform fighter, it doesn't count as like something like Evo. But then again, it did build up to like that Evo, because if everybody remembers correctly, Smash Brothers was pitched into Evo as part of a breast cancer awareness project by funding, and through that funding, Melee got into Evo, and so on and so forth. Smash Brothers became a #1 spot for Evo, right? And then you hear like all the naysayers like back then, like, oh no, I don't play any other fighting games, I just play Smash. But Smash is like a fighting game now. It built that global success. So how do you guys feel about like that sort of like dynamic, right? Is it like a fighting game now? Is it still like a platform fighter? Things like that. Is it still like super casual? Is it like super competitive? Those like elements.
Sort of think people overthink it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely a fighting game.
It's just semantics. It's like, is there two people competing and they're, you're pressing buttons and fighting each other? It's a fighting game. It's just like, It's like, what do you define, right? Because like, when we say platform fighter, that just lets people know what type of fighting game it is. Because like Street Fighter is like footsies, but Street Fighter and Marvel 3 are completely different games. Like, that's why we even give them the name anime fighters. So it's like, if Smash isn't a fighter because it isn't Street Fighter, then I guess neither is Marvel 3, because they're so different from each other. The only difference is that like they're 2D planes, whereas Smash is like in this weird 3D plane, I guess. But even then, you have actual full 3D fighters like Soul Calibur. They play literally nothing like Street Fighter. So it's like, it's just people gatekeeping, as it always is.
Yeah, pretty much. I agree with all those points. It's just still a lot of gatekeeping.
It's a weird one, because it's like, I get where it comes from fighting games, because a lot of like quote unquote fighting game players that play Smash only play Smash. But I mean,
it's like that stigma, if I were to interpret it your words here, that stigma, or like that level of like, oh, that sort of ego, you will never be a fighting game like us, or something like that. Yeah.
I also feel like it's because, my bad, what?
No, what were you gonna say?
Just to end it, I also feel like it's because Smash was Smash was always big, but it was never a quote-unquote competitive fighting game. Then that scenario you gave with Evo blew up, and then Smash blew up. So it basically came from that casual game that we all enjoyed to super competitive overnight, whereas Street Fighter and Tekken, it took years for them to get, be taken seriously. Whereas for Smash, it almost felt like it was overnight. So I feel like a lot of people feel kind of like your game just kind of got big because everyone plays Smash, whereas like Street Fighter, Tekken, and the rest of us had to work hard to get here, kind of thing. But go on.
But I sort of approach it like a different way, because like a lot of the old like fighting games, they started out in like arcades and then rank-a-dink like bowling alleys and stuff like that. And then with Smash, it didn't really have they didn't have the arcade scene to like help them out because it started off in the consoles. There's nothing to take away from it, but like it sort of just grew up in its own like little environment. A lot of the people who only play Smash, like I can't really knock them for it because it's like, well, they didn't have like an arcade scene to go to.
Exactly. Yes, that is a very true and on the point, Skater, because like, what was it? Oh yeah. Working my sentences. Yeah, Smash Bros. Started off as like a home console on like the N64. Like you said, it didn't grow up in the local like mom and pop shops that like a lot of the other like fighting game have. Like we didn't like grew up. We didn't like go to like, let's say, my always biggest like arcade like heritage for me was like going into Pizza Hut back then. Before they had like an arcade, they had like this lone like Tekken 3 arcade cabinet, and all the boys would just like gang up on that arcade machine and just play while the parents are just waiting for pizza delivery orders. And my parents were all veggie, so that's something to like root for. No pepperoni in this Islamic household. Oh god. Okay, but yeah, it's like that arcade scene, and Smash Brothers didn't really have that, and it was defined as like super casual, super like just to play with your friends and not really taken very much a lot seriously. And with like Evo, considering the origins of Evo being more backed by Capcom more than anything, because the number one platforms for Evo back then were like Street Fighter and like MVC, stuff like that. A little bit of like Tekken, maybe, but like you said, that took years to like pile on, and now we have like Tekken is the most like number one like selling platform of that game's series' library, and
Yeah.
that is super great for Tekken, right? Last time I remember, what was the shipments sales for like Tekken was like fucking 3 million sold. 3 million sold, and this or like 5 million sold, and this was like from 2020 of like the summer, and Tekken is still pretty big. We're still waiting on signs for like Tekken 8, but Tekken 7 is still growing strong to this day.
But there's also but there's also like the element of like a lot of the noise came from America, right? So like everybody knows Street Fighter because North Americans, that's what they all play. But Tekken grew a lot because of players in Pakistan.
Exactly. Pakistan
Yeah.
and Korea too. They like define some of the more meme-isms from like Korean players and Pakistani players. Arslan Ash
So a
being
lot of-
like Arslan Ash, sorry.
Yeah, but like there's a lot of like it can't be understated how much like the international like community helps like build these games, because like Smash didn't even get like a lot bigger until they started to bring in more like players from like South America and from like Mexico and stuff like that. And a lot of King of Fighters is going to pop off like pretty soon because of
15.
because of those scenes. And it's already been international. Like people in majority Muslim countries, they play King of Fighters. A lot of Latin America plays nothing but King of Fighters. So like there's gonna be a lot more of that international element that wasn't there before for like Evo.
Yeah. 100%. Every like fighting game has like sort of like their, like I said, their pop-off element, and like King of Fighters definitely has like built up to it. But anyway, what was it? Yeah, Smash Brothers, right? So we talked about like the casual like scenes and like the gameplay elements. Oh yeah, like the gameplay elements. I said like so skewed, but how easy is it to like get into Smash Brothers? Like just on like an analytical level, right? It's easy to get into. It's a simple button like platform fighter. Everybody can get into it, right? So would everybody say that like Smash Brothers is the easiest fighting game, right? Would everybody say that?
That's a hard one because a lot of fighting games have simplified buttons nowadays. So I don't even know if that's true anymore. Like you have DBZ fighters that's pretty easy to learn. So I don't know anymore. Definitely, if you had told me like when Smash 4 was out, I'd say 100%. Like Smash is pretty intuitive. Like you don't need to. There's not like what's the word for a lot of other games. There's like if you're trying to go for a quote-unquote combo, there's like a strict time in which you have to do it. Whereas Smash is pretty generous when it comes to like up throwing a character and then following their DI and like up airing or whatever your character can do. Like Smash is pretty like intuitive when it comes to that. So if you mean like that, then yeah, I think it's like pretty like there's no ambiguity when it comes to Smash. Like if you press a button, something's gonna happen, and you can press a bunch of buttons in Smash and things will happen. Whereas like other fighting games, that might not be the case, but even then I don't know anymore because a lot of fighting games have auto combos now. Like if I keep pressing attack, my character will do a 3-button combo in like DBZ or something like that, or what was that other one, Grand Blue or something like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know anymore. I actually don't know anymore.
Oh no, yeah, that's there. Grand Blue, Dragon Ball Fighters, Tekken to an extent because they have like combo string buttons, like you could customize a combo and then map it to one button. I do remember that. A lot of
and then Guilty Gear does that too. They just have the custom combo mode now too, don't they?
yeah, they do. They do have like custom combo. Though, well, then again, I'm not really sure. I don't know if they have like a custom combo and then map it to like one button per se. That one I'm not clear of for
They do have like light, medium, heavy in the combos,
Yes.
For, like,
Yeah.
they're typical. So that's pretty simple.
Yeah.
I think if you were talking about how, like complexity, like in fighting games compared to like just to the way that Smash does it. If you were talking about like early melee, like super early melee, I would probably say for sure Smash is like the most simple one, right? Because like that was a time where like fighting games were kind of like no one really talked about like Smash, and fighting games were still kind of like pre Street Fighter 4 era, so they still had like a lot of like complicated like mechanics that a lot of like casual players didn't like. But then if you compare that to like how Street Fighter 1 and then Street Fighter 2, how they came up, it's kind of similar, because like they went from trying to be like super stiff to like simplifying it. So like a lot of fighting games, like they follow that model of like just simplifying over and over. Whereas in Smash, it's kind of gotten like a little bit complex as time has like gotten like as it's progressed, because like from 64 to like Melee, huge leap, and then it went to Brawl, where they tried to be casual, and that like stagnated it, and then it went to 4, which like helped it a little bit, and now we're at where we're at. So like it didn't really evolve in the same way that other fighting games did, where they like kept trying year after year to like introduce mechanics that would be simpler for like the casual player.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah. All those points are like super agreeable. What I want to like add on as like a follow-up question is that like it's easy to learn. Yeah, like it's easy to learn, and like it's just a simple button. It's very what's the word for like fighting games nowadays with simpler mechanics? Accessibility. Accessibility is almost everywhere in like a new fighting game here or there, and the list of examples we could go on could be like tremendous. But I want to like add like I remember the phrase that I once said in this like video: easy to learn, hard to master, because there are a lot of like fighting games that carry that like fucking phrase to the grindstone, right? Because Smash is really easy, but then once you learn, like if you like sit down and actually like learn like the different nuances of Smash Brothers, like Melee is a fantastic example because Melee is like, yes, it's a Smash Brothers game, so it's simple buttons. That layout is fine, but take it to like, let's say, locals or even majors, and you see how players do like their movement, right? It has a lot of nuance. It's very much like a hard to master type of feel. Even if like some may agree, it's like it could be easy. I'm not saying on my part, but you know, it definitely has like that ism of like easy to learn at the first start, and then hard to master. And as like the games went on by, yes, it went like dialing back and forth, like how E-Skaters said. Like Melee was like L canceling and all this like wave dashing and all these like elements they carry on over to the next games, and then they like neuter it down, and then now here where are we at? We're like in the middle ground of in between. No changes, right? There are some like changes, like parrying. Parrying is also there in the weirdest like way possible, to like let go of hold down and then let go at the right time of a button, which is weird for a parry mechanic. I'll say, right? But do you think it's like that phrase, right, gentlemen? Like the easy to learn, hard to master, does that fit for Smash Brothers?
Oh. So that's okay, so that's what you mean. So like Melee's kind of an outlier to the other Smash games, because like I'd argue Melee isn't even easy to learn, because you, unlike the other Smashes, you have to learn how to L cancel, you know, your aerials before you hit the ground, unless you're gonna be in a mid lag. You have to learn how to wave dash, ledge dash, wave land. There's a bunch of barriers in Melee already there, so I'd argue Melee, funny enough, it feels more like a earlier fighting game in that way, where the barrier isn't even that easy to begin with. You have to learn to even be able to. Melee is one of those games where you don't, before you even think of neutral or combos, you have to even be able to move. That's like your first step. If you can't even move, it doesn't matter if you know about neutral, because you never touch your opponent. So I feel like Melee's like, you kind of have to put that to the side a little bit, because it's like it's its own thing. It's still Smash, and I'm not one of those guys, because at the end of the day, we're a community together. But it plays almost more so like not necessarily how you play the game, but sort of that barrier to entry is far more aligning to older fighting games than we are in the current ones. Because he made a good statement with Street Fighter 4, where we saw that renaissance with fighting games, and them trying to make it more accessible. Smash feels more like post Street Fighter 4.
Yeah,
specifically with Smash 4 and Ultimate.
That's exactly what I feel. It's like Melee is kind of like what the jump from. It's like if they went from a Street Fighter 2 to like Third Strike.
100%.
That's exactly what Melee feels like, because like if you would have started with early Melee, like I did as a kid, it would have felt like maybe like Street Fighter Alpha, like Street Fighter Alpha 2, you know, where it feels like super simple, and then anybody can pick it up. But then as time progresses, it sort of just morphs into like Street Fighter, if I'm honest.
100%, yeah, and exactly on that point, because Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, like for example, even though I haven't played, or like I think I recently watched something about Street Fighter 3 like origins and background, but like Street Fighter 3 develops like this sort of easy to learn, hard to master, and it's hard to master because like of the parry system. And if you play like long enough, or like let's say like in Fightcade or like in the sweatshops of like Street Fighter 3 Third Strike online, then you are Gucci. And yes, with Jerry's example, with Jerry's point, is that before combos, before anything, you have to learn like how the game mechanics work. All about movement, all about these things and whatnot. And yes, like Melee should be like set to the side, because that's like its own thing. And yeah, those are really like wonderful points. Smash like for the ages, like in Brawl, in Smash 4, and now Ultimate, they have heavily like neuter things about the game's mechanics, but they're slowly like shifting back, especially for like Ultimate, with like with all the different like positional dodges and like the parries and whatnot. It's
Or even just the freaking in Ultimate, the less hit stun that we got. You can combo in Ultimate. Like you couldn't in the last. Well, you can combo in 4, but you know what I mean. There were less strings or less unique combos instead of just upping your opponent to death up a ladder and killing them like 4. Whereas in this game, your up airs can lead into fair, to like a reverse aerial back air or something if you're playing Wolf, which is not possible in like 4.
Or even ball, honestly.
Yeah, but before anything, I want to answer the question though, was because like ultimately you said it's like Smash the easiest, because it's like that means a lot, but then you clarified, is it easy to learn? Because there's a big difference between is something easy or easy to learn. Because if it's like, if we're talking about is Smash the easiest fighting game to get into, I would say 100%. Because again, the buttons are like very straightforward. If I press A, this will happen. If I press E, B, a fireball will come out. You know what I mean? It's very intuitive. So if that was the question, then yeah, I do think Smash is the easiest to learn, or to get into, I should say. Because it's very intuitive. Like Smash, you're not fucking doing special button prompts with the stick. You know what I mean? You're not pressing B to then come with the fucking Shoryuken or something, you know?
Exactly.
Or doing a quarter circle or something like other fighting games. You're not doing that.
Exactly. That's the execution barrier that a lot of like fighting games have, and that what throws people off. Or like, we have like a lot of our friends that will say that like, we can't like get into these fighting games because the combos are so long, or like the execution barrier is a little bit ridiculous. With Smash Brothers, it's like it's a little bit to that if you, like I said, really get into the nitty gritties of like that platform fighter. But it still is like an approachable fighting game. It's still an approachable video game by Nintendo that you could just like pick up and play with your friends. What the barrier is like if you want to like go into like, let's say, a local and like do more than what you know, that is totally up to that person. But as like a game per se for Smash Brothers, yes, it's like that easy to approach, and of course, easy to learn because of accessibility and buttons and stuff like that.
Smashes. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. What were you gonna say?
The only thing I was gonna say is like, the reason I say that is because the hard part of Smash is you can die at 0 in Smash, which is very rare in fighting games. Like, we have those cool anime fighters that you can touch up death people, but that's more of like a skill check on the person doing, or an execution test. If you know how to execute it properly, you'll kill them. With Smash, you can grab someone, throw them off stage, and like one mistake can cause a death. I air dodged, he read my jump, he nared, I don't have any jumps, I died. You don't really get that in Street Fighter and stuff. Like that's that's just a Smashism. Like that's something you have to learn in Smash, which is like, dude, getting punished in Smash can feel hard sometimes. At like top level where people know what they're doing, where they're like, obviously we're gonna use terms because we know them, like two-framing someone, like with Wolf on the ledge. If that guy has it down and you have a bad recovery, you're dead. And it's like, damn, I died because of one mistake. It be like that, man. Smash has hard things. Go on.
So that easy to learn, like that easy to get into factor, that's where the platform and platform fighter comes in, because like you've ever seen like speedrun? I mean, we've probably all seen speedrunners, but like, like growing up, everyone knows how to pick up Super Mario Brothers 3, but like try to learn all the nuances to it, and then try to speedrun it later on, and it is very hard to do. So I feel that's where the factor for Smash Brothers comes in, is that whole, like, it's easy to pick up like Super Mario Brothers 3, but try to speedrun it like someone else, and that's kind of what creates that type of like fighting game.
Of course, yes, exactly. All those points. Okay, so now the next topic I want to go over for like Smash Brothers, and this is like a big like broader one. You could like say however you want. This is like free reign, and this is about the community of Smash Brothers. Yeah, I know, you scared. It's like, alrighty then, alrighty. And Smash Brothers is like, for the community itself, it's kind of like, okay, we like this community, but there have been recent times in the Smash community that, like, it can sort of feel like, what the fuck is going on with people nowadays, right? And like, that is more evidently so with like some of the more things that were, you know, brought to light, and more so in the Smash Brothers, and more so into Smash Brothers, right? So what do you guys think about like the community of Smash Brothers? Because this is also a fighting game, right? And as per like a fighting game, there's always like a dedicated group of people, well, all, to like back up this fighting game, right? And Smash Brothers is clearly one of them. So what are your guys' take on like the Smash community for this game series?
I'll let Jared go first.
Okay, thank you. It's the age divide, man. Well, from what I'm hearing, we're from like the Melee Brawl generation, and I feel like a lot of us forget that we're adults because we grew up in this scene as kids playing it, and we kind of grew up from it and went up. Whereas a lot of because you have to understand, Smash is old now, to the point where each game brings new people in. So you're starting to get these weird situations where we're having people from the Brawl era interacting with children, and it creates issues in our community, because it's like we've never viewed anything, because we never thought our community was capable of doing certain things. But at the end of the day, you have to know that we're adults, and when we compete with children, things can happen, specifically when the venue or locals and out of that. And it's like the events that happened 2 years ago, all of us know what happened 2 years ago with the whole, you know, Nairo Zero. I'm not going to go too far into that because, you know, it's here, you know. But it's that thing where it's like I think that brought to light to a lot of us, like, holy shit, we're adults now, you know? And we have to be a bit more mindful of what we do. But please, man, carry on. That's pretty much all I got.
I'd add on to a lot of that. So I agree with all those points, and I'd also add on that like Smash, like from Smash 64, Melee, and the Brawl era, because I wasn't into Brawl, you know, because like by the time Brawl came around, I was already in the military, so I wasn't playing most games before that. So a lot of what Smash is just like console era like playing. So they never had to go up against like people in the 20s or like cholos, like going to like the arcade scene and like telling them like, if you use a throw, I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you. Because like that's what used to happen back in the day. Like if you played a certain way, and like when I was a kid, like there were people that would get like physically aggressive with you. There were arcade cats. Yeah, and then like some cabinets in Mexico didn't even have functioning buttons half the time. So you know, imagine trying to play like a game, and these guys are like, I play on this cabinet all the time, and you can't play. You know, you can't play this. You know, you can't play the same one. He has all his buttons because he managed to like snake his way into like the good side of the cabinet, and you got one that doesn't even have like a functioning like light punch or heavy punch or something like that, you know, because everyone's been pressing the same buttons like the entire day. So like a lot of what Smash is a reality check. Like from 2 years ago until now, it's a reality check. It's a reality check because like a lot of these Smash 4 players weren't interacting with Melee players. And a lot of what the Smash community wasn't interacting with the entire like fighting game community as a whole. So it's a lot of reality checks.
If I can go off that, sorry Farhan. 100%, man. Because Melee heads, like they grew up as kids, but they never stopped playing Melee. So it's like there's that same generation of people. Obviously, before Slippy and Online brought a bunch of people into Melee, a lot of the Melee community was kind of their own thing. Whereas, like you said, dude, when it came to like Brawl, they never really had to deal with other people. They were just for the Brawl, but they kept on going. And then when we got to Smash 4, and then more people were coming in, these are new kids, and the Brawl guys were already like in their, we'll say 18, 19, 20. And now by the time that they're in Ultimate, they're in their late 20s, interacting with children. And it's like, it's that weird sort of like gray area where we never had to deal with that, from what you just said with fighting games. Because you never had that arcade experience of being a kid having to get your ass beat or beating, you know, adults at a game. You didn't really have that experience until, like, I guess recently, we'll say, with Ultimate. So it created a lot of small issues that ended up becoming bigger issues later on because we didn't see it coming. And it's sad, man, because it's like, I'm for everyone playing. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, you know, your age, you should be able to play. But there is a responsibility that I feel like a lot of the older Smash kids, well, they're not kids anymore, adults, I feel like they didn't take on that responsibility. Where it's like
they didn't know how. Like,
yeah.
They didn't know how. Like, they didn't have anybody telling them how to do it, you know? Because it's like, because like Melee and like Brawl, they weren't really online, like the same way that like a first-person shooter is right now. You know, like back in the day, you know, they used to get checked online with first-person shooters with like these very toxic people on like Xbox or something. But because Nintendo was like so slow to integrate like a lot of like online like capabilities for their, you know, especially for Smash, even right now, like there wasn't a lot of the reality checks that first-person shooters were getting, and early like arcade people were having like way before that.
And that's another thing, right? Sorry if I was like interrupting. Maybe Jerry, I saw the screen. But that's another thing for like Nintendo specifically. Yeah, because what you guys' whole conversation brought into my mind was the fucking the mod fiasco between Nintendo and the Smash community. Like to make Melee a better game by using a mod that has better online, and Nintendo just wrote that local, I think, with a cease and desist letter, and
it was the big house, I think you were talking about, right?
Yes, the big house. Yes, that one. By the cease and desist on the modder, I think it was Slippy.
Yeah, it was a Slippy mod.
Yes, the Slippy mod. Yeah, for Melee, and that was a whole like debacle because like it was Nintendo. This is like their game, but then Nintendo said you can't do this because you can't rework our original like software / hardware, like whatever, to make the game like a better experience. And when I saw that as like, you know, okay, that's kind of fair because that is Nintendo. They're allowed to do what they want. But at the same time, it cucks the fan base. It cucks the players that want to make, you know, these older games feel like a lot more better. Like, we all know that, like, Smash Ultimate, you know, it is, like, the best game, but goddamn is it, like, I'll quote one of my friends saying this, hot doo-doo butter online. 8 to 10 frames of inherent, like, lag of that game. And it just, that's one of the reasons why I stopped playing Smash, you know, online. Even though there's, like, new characters come out, I can't stand playing online in that game. It just frustrates me to like no end. This is like delay based, so of course that's another reason. But damn, Nintendo, you don't want to make your game, you don't want to let your fans like have that responsive feedback to make your games like come out. But yeah, that's like the whole other thing like I was like thinking about when you guys were having your conversation about. And of course you could like add on to that. Totally fine.
It's one of those things where it's just like they're in their right to do so. It just doesn't feel right, even though they're in the right to do so, kind of deal. Where it's like, you know, it's their intellectual property. They can do it as they wish. But it's like the other coin is like, this is a game that you're not even making money from. You're not selling it anywhere through an eShop or even backwards compatibility. So it's like, at what point is the fan base just trying to fix the game they love? Even in the bottom line, it's not taking away money from your pockets. It's a control kind of thing, at least in my opinion. It's like Nintendo wants to make it like. Go ahead.
I'd add on to that too, because so for one, the way that Japan does like their copyright system is a lot different than the American one. Like the American one encourages people to build off of other intellectual properties, you know? Like after a while you're supposed to be able to have certain things in the public sphere. But in Japan, they have a copyright system that gives a lot of control to these copyright owners. So that's one thing. And then two, Nintendo is still sort of operating off of a very old model of video games where they're trying to push as many units and as many copies of their games as possible, and they're trying to make sure that their competitors don't do what the American copyright system sort of allows, you know. So they're very protective, and they're allowed to be by Japanese law.
100%. Yeah, that's their product, their thing. They're there to push units. Yeah, that's totally understandable. It's still I'll still say I feel it's very stab in the back, even though you shouldn't trust companies some sort of shit like that, right?
Oh, it's like anime, you know. For a long time, a lot of people, Japanese studios wouldn't license their anime out to American companies because they didn't want, they didn't want their product to be something else, and they had a reason because it sort of happened, you know. Like at Sailor Moon, look at Speed Racer. That was a totally different anime in Japan than what it was in America in the 70s. So it's they sort of have some history of not being able to trust the American market.
Yeah, but that's so true. Even though I never watched old school Speed Racer and Sailor Moon, but I get what you're coming from, Skater, with that sort of this ism.
I mean, look at a show that we all love. Look at the original Dragon Ball Z, man. It's pretty different from the original Japanese.
Yeah.
Look at Goku. They made him way more Superman-like for us with all those speeches and stuff.
Yeah.
Having the English dub. I'm not saying the OG English stuff is bad, but it's different. They changed a lot. They reworked
it's not
it.
Bad, but like you said, it's definitely very different. And it was supposed to be even more different from the original, because I've seen some of the original dubs that they tried to do for Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball, and that one's a lot different.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's true. But yeah, to top it off, where we're talking about is the Smash community is I feel this is from my answer for my own question. I feel they can't catch a break. There's always, I feel when it comes to Smash Brothers, I feel it's sort of that. It's sort of that generality, and what would be the way to put it? It's sort of this thing that the Smash community had. They can't catch a break. There's never a pleasant side to them. There's always some sort of debacle or some sort of ism, some sort of fucked up twisted shit that one person does to another person, and it reaches headline Twitter news or stuff like that, and it sort of feels bad. You want your community to be, or you want the game's community to be cool and great, but of course, every community has some sort of those certain people that just think in a different way, in a weird way, in a very gross way, and that sort of like comes out. It's not just in like Smash, but also in fighting games, but also in like in any community. There's always like those like toxic, the sort of like well, not ignorant, but very weird heads that are in or anything that's just like they could just talk whatever they want. They have their opinions, but sometimes those sayings can really be like, you know, in the realm of like trouble, if I were to say.
It sucks, man, because it's like it's weird, because I think a lot of us feel bad for Melee, because it's like they're pretty grassroots. Like everything that they've built has just literally been them without developer support. So it's like it feels like whenever they get a moment, it feels like they're always shut down. Okay, they've accepted that Nintendo will never, well, until recently, but we'll see, for the most part, has never supported them with cash money, cash prizes, or even like Nintendo, whether it be controllers or DSs or whatever the hell. They've never done that for Melee for the most part. And it's like they've already accepted that, but it's like, damn, man, we can't even have our own online tournaments or in IRL tournaments being funded by like just the viewers. No, Nintendo can't have that. So people, I feel like that's why a lot of people, you know, feel bad for Melee. It's like, damn, man, this is an old game, dude. This is rare for fighting games. This does not happen, dude. We're playing, what is it, Tekken 7? We're playing Street Fighter 5. Communities go on. Even if people might have their favorite one in the franchise, eventually people just go on to the newer game. That's what makes Melee special to a lot of people. That in spite of that, Melee's still being played at a high level. People still watch it. Most people don't play Melee. I feel like Melee at this point is like, it's like you watch basketball. Yeah, I'm not good at basketball, but I can appreciate somebody being good at basketball. You know what I mean? And you watch that on Twitch. People are like, dude, this is dope. That these people that have been playing since 2003 are still killing it. You know, Mango, yeah, dude. Mango's 30. My man Mango won his first tournament when he was 13, and he won another major recently at 30. That tells you how long Melee's been played. It's like, it's fucked up. It's like, damn, yeah, come on, Nintendo, you don't have to be so up at arms with this. I could understand if they were trying to resell Melee. Knowing Nintendo's track record, probably wouldn't play the best when it comes to porting their older games to newer hardware. But I'd still understand, because you know what I mean. That would be, they're trying to sell. But Melee hasn't been sold since like 2001, man, or 2002, or whenever the hell they released their updated version of the game. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, we're looking at, for Melee, that's like a 20-something-year-old game. Like if it's like 2001 or 2002, that's pretty damn long. And like fans have been wishing for like as you said, like a port. But then even at the day, how you said, Jerry, like a port would not really like make much bang for Melee, because for Nintendo it's all about, okay, this game is like done, let's move on to the next project, let's move on to something new, because, you know, we like new. We like newer shit. We like things that are more advanced and adept. That's how it is. And it's sad. You could still have like the grassroots communities of like Melee, and they still grow strong. Just that they don't get like that love of like support. There are still technologies, right? Like Yuzu and of course there Yuzu, Parsec. I know there's like one more for Nintendo Switch hardware, but
you talking about Dolphin?
Is it Dolphin? No, for like Switch specifically, Skater.
Oh, I don't know about
play online. Is that what you're asking for?
Yes.
You said Parsec.
Yeah.
Now there's only like there might be a couple, but even those you can't really use them. You know what I mean? Because if you're seen streaming with them, you know.
Exactly. You get the
Nintendo
cease and desist ban hammer.
So,
exactly.
Like,
not only the ban hammer, but like there's that guy, was it Doug? Not Doug, but somebody else, Gary Bowser, who got 3 years, and like he got tacked on like a hefty fine, and this wasn't like the Japanese government doing it, like this was the U.S. government. So like Nintendo's sort of like in a position that a lot of companies overseas don't really get to enjoy as much as they do. So they got to use the U.S. government to basically protect them, but also they're not using like U.S. law, like U.S. copyright law, to protect their own IPs. Like they're still using like Japanese law. So it's like they get to use Japanese laws to like keep their to keep their IPs, but also if someone violates those IPs, like outside of Japan, they get to use another country's laws to like sort of hammer them down. Like even anime companies don't get to do that. Like not totally Mark. He got to like enjoy some protection because he's not in Japan. But like when Gary Bowser has to go to jail, like that just seems kind of weird to me.
Yeah. Oh god, damn! I did not know about that crazy shit.
Yeah, 3 years. He has to do 3 years.
Poor Doug Bowser. Yeah, it's Doug Bowser. I forgot. Oh. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's like the community, and we could talk as much about the community because that's like part of like FGSM. But let's move on to like, well, at least like the game wise for, let's say Smash Ultimate. Let's say Smash Ultimate, right? As everybody knows, Sora was like the last character, and like the game is like over, right? And once a game is like over, there's no like updates or anything like that. But we did get, I don't know. Let me rephrase that, right? Let me rephrase that whole thing. Smash Brothers is like, well, not a fighting game, but it's still a fighting game because of the ability that it can get like patches and update balances and whatnot. All characters get like a sort of like balance buff or like a crazy like character buff. They're not like the older ages of like older Smash Brothers. Like we can name like a definite very few criminal few that have broken their respective Smash games, and nobody liked those characters. Let's start off with some examples. The infamous Meta Knight shopping cart in Brawl, or my favorite one, and I ride on to this day, and Jerry knows this, Bayonetta in Smash Brothers. Fucking god, I was goddamn such a dick rider for that character because I love Bayonetta. That was like the character I got super hyped for. But when she came out, she was absurdly busted. She was broken to the point of like, there's even more so broken, like she reached the shattering floor literally and figuratively, and so they had to like emergency ban her ass, right? But that's like broken and like busted characters. But my question is Smash Brothers well balanced? Like, can you still have like fun with like so and so character and not be miffed by like meta as fuck characters that are in tournaments for Smash Ultimate? Something like that. Is Smash like a balanced like fighting game?
Ultimate, right?
Ultimate.
Yeah. It's like easy to. I think this is like one of the. I haven't played many, but from a lot of the fighting games that I've played, this one's particularly. Even from like what you just said with like Smash 4 or like Melee, this game, like, people argue what is even a mid-tier in Smash Ultimate all the time. Excluding maybe like 3 or 4 characters that a lot of people all agree are kind of bad. Everyone else is maybe not like solo viable, but you can definitely do well in this game with like whatever character you want. There's always gonna be a meta. That's just the nature of competition. Like there's always gonna be the better character. It's just so like, how far is the gap between the number 1 character and the number 87? If the gap is so huge, then it's probably not a good game. But in Ultimate, dude, you can like, bro, even like the quote-unquote bad characters like Little Mac, you see Peanut destroying people with him. Like, it's like, this game, dude, like, if you know, the only thing though I will say about Ultimate, but that's only because now let's talk about competitive. A lot of the really good characters in this game are simple to play and simple to master, whereas like a lot of the quote-unquote mid-tier characters, you need to know their jank, and you need to know their jank really well, and if you do, you can do well. But if you really like a character, whoever it can be, whatever, for the most part, maybe not Ganondorf, but other than that, like, you can do well. Like, I think this game is really well balanced.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think So for me, there's two types of like fighting games. Ones that are just ridiculous, and like every character is sort of like overpowered, and there's no real way to like make a player like a tier list. So there's Marvel vs. Capcom 2, where there's definite like garbage characters that you can never play. Dragon Ball Fighters, which that meta changes all the time, but all those characters are always like top tier. There's always a way to like sort of overpower your opponent with just like one touch of decking. And then there's the fighters that sort of try to be as balanced as possible. And I feel that Ultimate tries to do like that, like they try to be as balanced as possible. Street Fighter, for the most part, tries to do that as well. But they get trapped into the makings of like making some characters like just overpowered, and some of them, and making some characters like very far away from the ones that are very viable for tournament play. And that's been happening since like the arcade era, because like back then like there was characters that were just terrible because they just wanted to put in joke characters. And then there was characters that were like really well balanced and really overpowered, and there was you can only play like probably those characters if you went to like a local arcade game. So like you also have to remember that like updating fighting games sort of is a new concept, because that's back in the day you either got a new game for that series, or like they just brought in like new cabinets or something.
Exactly. That's like
The update.
The update. Exactly. That's like the old Super Street Fighter Turbo HD Remix. Capcom was just like making quote unquote updates as like new games, and now it's like we're in the realm of like fighting games getting like casual updates every like 3 or 4 months, or when like a new character comes out, and that's healthy. That's healthy for a fighting game, especially now, if you want it to be like, let's say, tournament viable, competitive viable, to be like, okay, let's not make this overtly busted like an old version, right? Let's make it more viable. Let's make characters, give them a zesty spice of life. Let's see like characters get big buffs. Dragon Balls definitely is an example of like, so many characters got hella big buffs for absurdly no reason, and even though like there's gonna be a quote unquote season 4 for that game, they're still gonna go through updates. There's still like support. There's still balance patches and updates for that game, and ultimately like fighting games should have like these updates, because you don't want to be left with like broken as fuck characters, like how we have stated with Smash Brothers, like in old Smash Brawl or in Smash 4. You want to like give characters like, okay, give them a balance. Let's not make them broken. You can make them busted, because albeit this is like contrary to what I originally asked, what is Smash Ultimate Balance, because this is from me coming from fighting game origins, right? There's no way like a fighting game can ever be like balanced. There will be like, as you guys said, some character that's like number 1, and then there's like character that's like number 87, and they're not gonna like catch up, right? Only like a few certain characters can like really be good, but updates give them like a chance of life, a chance of breath of fresh air, something that you never like seen before, and that's good. But you can have it be broken. You can have a fighting game be broken, but not overtly busted, and that's good for fighting games. I feel that's like my take. I always prefer like make the game more fun, and I think this is like what Harada said. Like, I think I remember from a interview that he had with someone. Balancing a game is like boring, or something along those lines. Don't make a balanced game, right? Because if you make like a balanced game for a fighting game, you're 100% just fighting like the same character. Or like, let's say in like Street Fighter, for example, right? Of course, let's say in like Third Strike, what are the most like OP as fuck characters in Third Strike? Chun and like Yun. Those are like the number 1, 2 characters. There are some like mid tiers, but you know, it's only those 2 characters that are viable, and the rest of the other characters are like kind of like A or B tier, right? And that game didn't get any updates. But we have a case like with Street Fighter V where it's like comparable to season 1. There was like a lot of like Guile, Chun-Li, and Cammy, but now there's like a little bit of spice of life with like almost everything. Every character gets like a chance to shine, and that's why I like love, like, you know.
If I can go in.
Go
It's
ahead.
like balance is fine, but you don't want to take the sauce away from the character. Which is like, that's why you have to be careful when people talk about fighting games and how you balance stuff, because like what people think is broken, and that's like super subjective. It's like what you think is broken depends on like your skill level as well. Because like if you had people balancing games, they'd fucking nerf Ryu's fireball. If they don't know how to deal with projectiles and shit. It's like you have to be careful with balancing.
From, like, they would have nerfed it from like Street Fighter 2.
Yeah. That's something you have to learn. So it's like that's a hard thing. You don't want to take the sauce out of a character, and there's also like bias. It's like I personally don't like zoners. So clearly if I were to make a fighting game by myself, zoners wouldn't be that great. That's not fair to zoners. You know what I mean? Or grapplers, or you want variety in your game. There's bias. That's why, like, bro, if you ask Smash players, dude, they'd have their character be the best character in the world, dude. They'd buff the shit out of them without any like notable weaknesses, which is like, nah, dude. So it's like that give and take where it's like you want a game to be balanced, but you want your characters to have sauce. Guilty Gear, I think, does that really fucking well. Like, there are broken fucking characters in Guilty Gear, man, but like everyone kind of has something that's saucy about them. Unless your character's really bad, then they buff up. You rarely see like those kind of games nerf characters. They tend to buff weaker characters. That isn't to say like, you know, Meta Knight is one of the coolest characters ever. If you ask raw people, like, Meta Knight's dope. If you were a Meta Knight main, he's dope, he does shit. Meta Knight's a weird case because he was in a game where everyone else kind of felt like you were moving like bricks, where Meta Knight didn't have that. He had mobility in a game that didn't have mobility. So it's like, even though Meta Knight's sick and I like his sauce, he was problematic because it's like the gap between him and everyone else was like, it was jarring. Maybe Ice Climbers, but that's because Ice Climbers could grab you and they had the little infinite thing.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
But even then, is that like, But then that's another thing where it's like, are we balanced? That's another thing that I would like to bring with balance. You don't balance games just for like balance sake. You also balance games for spectators.
Yep.
Because like, is it for like a character like Ice Climbers? That character's so polarizing because people are like, dude, is it really fun just to watch a dude grab somebody and press A repeatedly? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, is that overpowered? I mean, I think it is, but again, it's that weird sort of like in between where you have to realize we have to balance the game, at least for me, for balance sake. Because then there's times where you overbalance characters, where it's just like, okay, now everyone's just the same character, nobody has sauce anymore. So then what the fuck is the point? So it's like, that's like a big conversation that you're gonna have with like a bunch of people, or at least that's what I hope fighting game developers do. Because if it's just one dude making decisions, you're gonna have your bias. I don't know.
I don't think it's one person making decisions anymore, because like, I mean, you got to remember that like video games are, compared to like other competitive scenes, like anything in sports, they're relatively new, and they're starting to listen to a lot of their fan bases like very easily. Like Street Fighter 5 is a great example. Like, you know, from 1 to like now, like they listened and they changed it a lot. Whereas like in sports, you know, it took decades sometimes.
Yeah, esports are like definitely becoming like the scene right now. They're still like at that small like step, but they're slowly building up like their momentum to be like the next like big league. Like nothing like NFL or anything, right? Nothing like NBA, because those shits, like as you said, took decades of time. They're like those like cultural like sports that are like ingrained in our history. And slowly and surely, esports, at least like for fighting games, nothing like what? League
Okay, there we
tournaments?
go. I was gonna say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, dude, StarCraft 2 is like bigger than baseball in Korea.
Yeah.
It's like it depends on like yeah. And then in America, especially for us in the U.S. and weirdly enough like Northern Europe or the Slavic countries, FPSs are king. Like people are still playing CS:GO, dude.
Oh yeah.
Valve will put like $1 million, more than $1 million like cash buy, like a grand finals or something. So these guys are making like, you know, NBA level salaries. Some of these dudes, especially in like fucking Russia and stuff. So it's like it depends on the game. Fighting games are weird, man, because we're relatively small. Like
Yes.
dude,
We are still under that label of niche genre. We're still
so
like.
I would equate fighting games to like not even MMA. I would equate it to like boxing. So like boxing still has like a very dedicated fan base, but like it's still kind of like small, you know, kind of weird.
yeah, because boxing had a heyday, man. You had the Mike Tyson era, dude, in the 80s and 90s, and then it kind of, you know, it fizzled out of there. But I agree with you. It still has that dedicated fan base that keeps it going, that the lifeblood. But they're not making like gangbusters anymore.
No,
like
they're
they
not.
used to.
They're not. And like fighting games, they had their heyday like probably like a little bit after that too. You know, like right around the early '90s to like the mid '90s. You know, like right after boxing was having its heyday. But it's not. You know, it's coming up in a way that like MMA's coming up, but like it's not really there. You know.
There's still time. It's cause it's a weird one, cause like fighting games, cause it's like I said, other than Smash, there's a barrier to entry that like other games don't have. Like first-person shooters are like they're relatively simple to get in, and then the complexity comes in later. Whereas you can play a game of COD or whatever, or even CS, you might get your hands beaten, but you can at least get a kill. If you're going into like a locals or whatever for a fighting game, dude, if you just started and you're playing with not even like good players, just competent players, you're probably in Smash's state, you're probably not gonna get a stock. Or in other fighting games, a life. It's like there's an inherent boundary in fighting games that other games don't have. But I mean, it's just time, man, because it's like before Street Fighter 4, you remember how you said in the 90s we had sort of that like golden period, but people forget about that like early 2000s, man, like 2003, 2004, were fighting games.
I never forgot that, because like I started playing more of like those Mortal Kombat, like those terrible 3D titles. I was really trying to play those games, and it was like, man, this is not fun. That's why I was still playing Melee, because I was like, these games are not fun. But then when Street Fighter 4 came out, because I was still in my first unit, I was like, now this is fun. But those dark ages, those are not pleasant times.
Alright, so those are lovely conversations. I want to like bring this to a closure with like two topics, right? One is like a super serious one, and then a super casual one. I want to start off with the super serious one, right? Like, this is like what I said, like Smash is dead, right? And with all of like the topics that we have, we are like, well, hopeful like 5% anticipating the next Smash Brothers game, which will like definitely be like what 20 something years at this point. It will be like fucking Kingdom Hearts 3 levels of like, alright, we gotta look at our watch, we gotta look at our phone. How long will it be till the next Smash Brothers? Until I like have a wife and kids or some shit. But yeah, like the next Smash Brothers, right? That's gonna be like a topic and a question in and of itself, right? Because Smash Ultimate is like every possible company connection that Nintendo had with a lot of other companies. We are most definitely not gonna get the same like characters as we did in Ultimate. Those are like unobtainable dreams. Those are like miracle wishes that somehow happened in Smash Ultimate. And in the next game, it's not gonna happen. 100% it's not gonna happen. You are not gonna have like Cloud and Sephiroth not maybe in there. We are not gonna have like Banjo-Kazooie or Minecraft. It just won't work unless you pull off like the Sakurai, right? Sakurai can make up deals out of his own butthole. But yeah, like characters and also like in gameplay, the next Smash Brothers is going to be like a topic and a half.
The only thing I don't agree though is if you think we're gonna be waiting Kingdom Hearts 3 levels of time, nah, dude. Smash makes too much money for these guys to like. Don't get it twisted. I highly doubt Nintendo is not gonna make another one. This game like broke sales figures, man, for the Switch, which in general has been breaking figures because this console is like ridiculously popular. Like this game is. You have to understand when people like fighting games. Like if you sell like. If you're not like Street Fighter and you sell over 1 million units, wow, you're a success. Yeah, which is considerably low for like bro, Call of Duty and like big FPS games, they'll complain if they don't sell 50,000 or 50 million units. Sorry, not 50 million units. Yeah. You know what I mean? Very true. So it's like fighting games, when it comes to like their bar is actually low. So when you have a game like Ultimate selling 35 million units, that's ridiculous for a fighting game. That's actually unheard of, dude. None of the other Smash games did even close to this. Like Melee, but that's because Melee, you know, has been selling for like 20 years. Ultimate's only like 4 years old. So like that's crazy for a 4-year-old game or 3-year-old game, however old it is. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's no way they're not gonna release another one. Now, how is it gonna happen? I think we all think it's gonna be a reboot, like a soft reboot. How the fuck do you like outdo Ultimate? Like, not gameplay or anything like that. That's like not even what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about like this presentation that everyone's here trailer that they first brought up. This is like, dude, the fact that they got Snake, people are like, that was wild because everyone was like with the whole Kojima, you know, Konami thing.
Yeah.
Or fucking Final Fantasy. Those guys are like, they hold their IPs like with an iron fist. Yeah. There's like, a reason we don't have them in Final Fantasy songs.
Square Enix are fucking sticklers, especially to like, you know, Final Fantasy 7 when they were like added to Smash. It's like back in like when Cloud came out, it was Cloud, the stage, and only like 2 songs. Only like 2 songs from Square Enix. That's how much Sakurai or like Nintendo had to haggle with. Now it's like Sephiroth, where probably like the deal was like lessened a little bit. They got more support, but like back then, bro, there was like so many memes of like, oh, Cloud came in. What else did he come with? 2 songs? Oh, just the 2 battle songs. Okay, here you go. I hope they add 2 more songs to the next Square Enix representative. And ultimately we got that with Sephiroth. But dude, yeah, like how Jerry said, you can't, the next Smash Brothers won't match Ultimate's level of like presentation and, you know, appearance. It's just like, no way. Go ahead.
I think what's really gonna happen is they're gonna have it's gonna go like one of 2 ways. They're either going to have like a terrible time trying to get to the next Smash Bros. So kind of how like Mortal Kombat went through like a really bad phase, or they're gonna go through like a phase of like sort of like mediocre like Smash games or Smash DLC or whatever. Kind of like what Street Fighter had, you know, like they had a lot of like games that weren't successful for like a very long time, but eventually they're going to have like that one game that's going to be, I don't even know if it's going to be a soft reboot, but it's definitely going to be some sort of reboot. So maybe they'll go back to like a more simpler style of like Smash Bros game. But they're still going to have like a couple of like DLC characters that are going to come from like other companies, because they still have like an agreement with Microsoft, so there's a definite chance that Banjo-Kazooie is going to show up again. But anything from like Square Enix, you can probably, like you guys said, you can probably rule that out.
hard. Go on, Far. Go on.
Oh yeah, it's definitely hard. Fucking yeah, just it's more or less like the whole like next Smash Bros. Will just be like presentation levels and like characters that will be like added in. Though I don't know, E-Skater. I don't know about like Banjo and Kazooie or like anyone from like Microsoft being like a sure guarantee. Maybe with like. I don't know, it's still hard to tell because like that's Banjo-Kazooie. That's like a game from like fucking N64 and like from Rare of like that small studio. And Rare is like they're kind of coming back, but they're like a small independent studio within Microsoft, and you know, Microsoft is like okay with it. But I don't know, man, like for certain characters, yes, Square Enix, 100%. There's no way. Probably going to be like some, if I were to think about it, new face like character. Like, let's say the main guy from Final Fantasy 16, or maybe what was it? Jack from Strangers of Paradise. Oh god. Bullshit. God, I can already imagine it in my head. God. But yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you mean by that.
I think with the Banjo thing, I think it's likely just because it depends on whether or not Phil Spencer is still leading Microsoft Game Division. As far as we know, as Sakura was pretty transparent with it, the whole Steve and Banjo was actually not hard. Apparently, he just talked to Phil Spencer and he was like, he give the A-OK. Because usually, the reason why these characters are so crazy is that they have to pay for them. Like Cloud and Sephiroth, they give them a cut.
They had to pay a lot for those.
Apparently for Banjo, they didn't pay. As far as we know with Phil Spencer and whatever, they just allowed them. Because he wanted Banjo for Smash. He even said it. This was tweeted like years beforehand. I think this was even... I want to say it's when Ultimate was already in its year 1. He was like, I want Banjo and Smash Brothers. If you guys wanted the A-OK, I'm down for it. So it's really just Phil Spencer. Because there was no reason for Banjo... What did Microsoft gain for a franchise that they're not making games for? So it was pretty much just goodwill.
And then too, like, I feel like Microsoft probably looks at it as like sort of like free advertisement just for their brand alone. Because like, you know, everybody already knew that Steve and Banjo-Kazooie are owned by Microsoft, but it's like, does Microsoft really need like more money out of a small company, or would it like benefit them more? Or would it be monetarily a lot better for them to just let them have those characters in the game, and then people, whenever they pick the character, they still think of Microsoft in a Nintendo game. Like that's free advertising right there, and good advertising too.
100. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, those are like some like free cash grabs right there. Just like get that shit there, and damn, dude. But what was it? What do you think like other characters could be coming back? Like, even though that like how we said it, Smash Ultimate was like the game that like everyone is here, you know, there are gonna be some like cuts. And who else do you think would be like cut from the previous game Ultimate to like the future next Smash Brothers on like so and so Nintendo console?
A couple Fire Emblem characters for sure.
Fire.
Not all of them.
Not
like, they'll
all.
They'll still have like, they'll probably for sure still have Marth. But maybe like Pyra and Mythra will show up again, but I don't know about the rest of them.
Wait, isn't Pyra Mythra is like Monolith Sauce or like Square Enix? That's not. Oh yeah, that's.
I thought they were Fire Emblem, but maybe I was mistaken.
Oh no, they're Xenoblade.
They're Fire Emblem, but Xenoblade is a Nintendo property though.
Yeah.
So
that
they
one's
have
showing
a
up
good
for
shot.
sure. Yeah, so Xenoblade for sure is gonna come. Oh yeah, that's right. They are Xenoblade.
But I don't know. Like it's again, it's hard to say. It's like if it's a soft reboot, I think a bunch of characters are getting cut, even Nintendo owned ones, because the whole point of a reboot is to sort of like going back to like square one again. And like you'll definitely have like the initial 64 roster and probably a couple more characters in there, because I highly doubt they're gonna put like, there's no way there's only gonna be 7 characters in a game released in like, we'll say 2026 or whatever, you know. But we're probably not. I just don't think we're gonna have 86 characters again in like the beginning of a Smash game again. If that makes sense.
I feel like the roster is going to be, it's gonna look more like Melee, in a sense of like character representation. We're like, there might be like a couple of characters here and there. It's like, oh, that's pretty neat to have, but like 86 characters, that's not happening again for like a very long time.
Absolutely not. No way. 86 characters. That's the biggest like roster in any fighting game ever. And a lot of them are like from like other companies and stuff. Shit, man. But yeah. Oh my god, that would be like intense. They would probably have to like cut down like a soft reboot. Yeah, like what was it? A soft reboot? They would do like a Soul Calibur 6 kind of style to Smash Brothers. Like they would like go back to roots with like 2, keep like some of like the OG cast, like Ivy, Siegfried, Taki, the very like beautiful, boobalicious like anime as fuck characters in that game, and then they'll throw in like maybe some new characters or some like guest characters, because that's how, you know, Soul Calibur is. But yeah, there's gonna be like major cuts.
Guilty Gear Strive is another example. That's without a doubt. I think Guilty Gear Strive is like a soft reboot. There's a lot of characters that are in the game.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's true. I forgot about Guilty Gear Strive.
Oh yeah, that's true. Guilty Gear Strive. Yeah, they're missing a lot of like the World Warrior cast for Strive. There's there's Venom. Venom is also missing for Strive. The fucking tan skin pole cube player. He's also like a World Warrior cast. And there's like so many others.
I will say this: I don't think necessarily the downscaling is it's like, what do you value? I think for the casual market, that's a big. I don't think the next game is gonna sell like Ultimate, because at the end of the day, those of us that play this game more seriously, we're technically the smaller margin. The casuals are the ones that actually make the majority of the player base, and this game having this big roster has to be like that big reason. So like, when it comes to units sold, I think it will affect them. But when I think of making like a dope game, I'll even go to Strive. Yes, there aren't a lot of characters, but nobody plays like anyone else in Strive. Everyone has a very distinct style. I love Ultimate, but there's like 50 Sword characters. There's 50 Marios. Like a lot of characters are the same archetype. And it's just like for example, if you play Mewtwo, why are you playing Mewtwo if you can play Palutena? You know what I mean? She does literally the same thing, it's just better. So it's like, it's a lot of weird shit.
And that's why I felt that they're gonna cut like a lot of Fire Emblem players, because like that's a lot of your sword players right there. So I mean, Lucina's probably not coming back. Like, I'll be honest, like a lot of those sword characters that are almost exact copies of like other people, like they're not coming back. You're probably not even gonna see Daisy in another Smash game for a very long time. See Princess Peach, but not Daisy.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're not gonna see like some of the more big, like some of the more softer like Nintendo like characters. Like you could have like the World Warrior Few. The World Warrior Few for Nintendo that has been long stayed in Smash Brothers, but not anything extra. I can definitely see that coming in. Yeah, but that's like the next Smash Brothers. I don't think we should talk about gameplay. I don't think that gameplay for next Smash would be like, I think that's like a realm out of our control. Like it would still be the same, I feel, if we could like theory craft it, but nah, that's too far ahead to tell. But
yeah, that's probably something that I don't even think a lot of people at Nintendo probably are thinking about, honestly.
Yeah,
they're just happy that they make bad money on this game.
Exactly.
They're happy that they better have given that dude. They gave that man a Christmas bonus. We don't make that much money, and then Sakurai, they gave that man a Christmas bonus, bro.
Yo, dude, he like toiled away, man. he like Sakurai fucking toiled away being like, you know, as surprisingly young as he looks, albeit like a 50-year-old spry chicken, right? But fucking
An old man.
he's an
He's an older gentleman, I should say.
He's an older gentleman that has literally been with this like game series outside of like Kirby, because that's like Kirby is his baby. But he's been with this series for the longest of time, and he gets like so much haggle from like online lords that Jesus Christ, man, the man needs a break. He's been like sweating profusely. He's tired. He's like he needs a fucking towel. And you know, good for him, man. Like fucking he said that like this is the end of like Smash Bros. Until like the next one, and should be like joyous that like he should get a break like this, man. He made like the ultimate video game. He made the ultimate video game at least like for something like Smash to have everybody in here. Fuck. God.
Can't satisfy everyone. It's
Yeah.
like one of those.
You never can.
Yeah. Oh yeah. True. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. He had to like pull so many characters out of his own volition and from like deals, and ultimately you're not gonna please everyone. The fact that like we got these characters in, it may not be your fave. But yeah, like the amount of like impact that these characters have in this Smash Brothers game alone is like, as what eSkater always says, it can't be understated. There's like so much hype around these characters and so much like fucking excitement for these characters that you cannot deny that like just because you didn't get them doesn't mean you have to shit on them. It doesn't mean you have to shit on the people that have this character now, or the developers that have this character. You can't write death threats to them.
Oh, that's stupid. That's just baby shit. Like I have my problems with the game where I like, you know, I hate the fucking like the online is like ridiculous, it's like unacceptable, but I'm not gonna like at the end of the day, why would I wish harm on somebody for like a video game, bro? That's too much. Or like the input that this fucking game has. Like the buffering, I should say. I fucking hate that. Like why is that here? Like that's such a like easy fix, but they don't want to do it for whatever reason. But again, like
It's still a game.
yeah, it is what it is, and I still enjoy it because overall, man, I can have fun, man. Like I can pick up, like even though that Palutena reference, like or example I gave with Mewtwo, I still love playing Mewtwo. He's not hot dog water like he was in other games.
Yeah.
Like in this game, characters are pretty good. Like you can have fun. Like there's other games, man, where you'll play a character and you're like, dude, I'm actually just giving myself a disadvantage. Like why am I doing this? Like, dude,
Yeah,
this
there's a
like,
lot of fighting games that do that.
yeah. With
Especially
Ultimate,
the
you
early
can,
ones.
hell yeah, you could. Yo, I've seen a crazy. There's always like that crazy Dr. Mario player at every local. So that crazy. You know what I mean? Those character specialists that you're like, I don't want to play this guy, dude.
Yeah.
This guy's gonna fuck me up. Because it's like they know their character in and out. It's like the game rewards you for knowing your character, and I think that's dope.
Yeah.
And like I'll say this, like I feel like with a lot of other fighting games, we tend to know for like the really good characters. With this game, it changes all the fucking time, bro.
Yep.
Every time a new player wins, everyone's like, when Light wins, yo, Fox is broken. Light doesn't win, yo, Fox sucks, bro.
Yo.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, yo, Violet's trash, bro. Oh man, MK Leo won fucking 9 tournaments straight in a row. I think Violet's broken, bro. Top tier. That's the only thing I don't like about Smash players.
Yeah.
They don't know what other fighting games will give credit to players. Smash players won't. It's just the character,
That's
bro.
true.
It's just the character.
That's true.
They
Like,
falsely attach like the characters to like a representative of a player, like how you said, Harry. Like, bro, bro, this player's Violet sucks, but bro, this pro player's Violet is pretty fucking badass. Make up your mind already, dude. Like,
Violet must be broken. It's like there's not a lot of like objective with that shit. Like you don't try to objectively, because it's like even if the character, that's what I'm saying. That's how goodly balanced or well balanced Smash Ultimate is. That even a character that's quote unquote like only a high tier you can win with, because it fits your play style. Like where it fits Leo's play style. He's just that guy, people forget because Joker's like kind of new for him. But like in Smash 4, he was the sword guy. Like he was known for playing Martha Meta Knight. So it makes perfect sense that a fucking character with ridiculous range and you can space will work for him for Violet. It only makes sense. You know what I mean? That's a character that was made for him. So it's like it's a weird one. That's why I think Smash, at least Smash Ultimate's dope like that. Like
Yeah.
I don't like when people call characters bad at this game. It's like we find out tech and then fucking like, dude, we don't even know. Like, dude, there are people who will be like, Pikachu's the best character, and we only have like one real representative of Pikachu at top
Esam,
level.
bro. Holy shit.
How the fuck is that the best character? It's a hard one, you know what I mean? Or Joker's the best character. We haven't seen Joker at top level since Leo dropped him, essentially. So it's like, this game is weird, because like in other FGCs, people like Guilty Gear Strive, everyone's like, hey yo, pre-patch Soul's broken, and you see pre-patch Soul winning tournaments. In Smash, yo, Pikachu's broken. Esam, it took him 3 years to win a super major. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is so weird with this game that isn't the same with other fighting games, because it's like, if you go purely by results, that's why results aren't everything. Rob is the best character. He has the best representation throughout the game. It's literally Rob.
Yeah, it is. And at the local I go to, it's usually a Rob player that wins too.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Wolf has a ridiculous. Wolf is up there, fucking. That's what I'm saying. But you don't see Rob's winning tournaments. You see Rob's do really well. Like they'll get top 8, they'll get top 32 consistently. Palutena is another character that you'll see. That's what I'm saying. But like, you'll never. Well, pre-patch, Palutena got nerfed hella times. But you know what I mean? Like this is a game that's like, it really is a well-balanced game, man. Like we don't even know what the best characters. We know the good characters. Look at Roy. Like Roy, no one talked about Roy up until this year with Cola.
Oh yeah, yo, you showed me that in the fucking local. I remember his cola, his super swaggy Roy combos. Oh my god, he makes the most like ballsy ass fucking plays. I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, that's Georgia. That's Southern players, bro. They're different. They press buttons.
Yeah, I'm in Texas. We press buttons, but I feel, I just feel that like a lot of because I've never had a problem with like the actual game of Smash because I love it, but the community is always like you said, Jared, they're all over the place, and I feel like that's kind of like a feature for the Smash community that isn't with a lot of like other communities in the fighting game community, because it's like a lot of them grind with like maybe like 1 or 2 other people on their off time to like practice one character, but then and then when they go to even like a local scene, because I've seen it happen, they lose their minds, you know, like they just I don't know, it's like they have like an entirely different mindset when they start going to like local tournaments, and they don't know how to really gauge people or gauge characters, I should say. And that's when they start having like these outlandish claims about how a character does based off of one thing that they saw.
It's you know, I mean, I want to say it, but I'll still say it. Like it is what it is, you know. Like that's like how like Smash community is, even though like we went past that. But yeah, it's like part of like, I feel like an integral part that just, you know, doesn't go away. There's like the age gap, there's also the tournament scene, there's also this. I'm like, and I just want something like good for something like Smash, and not be like, oh, every time I open up a Twitter, so and so gets into so and so. Like it's like, man, like I just want like the game and its community to do well and good. Not like, okay, the game is good and like the community is ass, or like the community is good but the game is ass. You know, I want to have like that good like pull in between for at least like both. You know.
Another thing I would like to say is like character bias. Like I don't know, is it character bias or like it's like with other fighting games, like yeah, you might not like an archetype, but you just deal with it. In Smash, like people like if you play a character, people take it personally. I'm like,
Yeah, it's so true.
dude, if you play Pac-Man or Sonic specifically, or like these characters that
Specifically
people
Sonic.
don't, yeah, like people lose their mind, and it's like, dude, at the end of the day, it's a competition. A person's gonna do what they gotta do to win. I might not like it, but I'm not gonna take it personally. Yo, these people get so much hate. I'm like, dude, trust me, when I watch Wrath play Sonic, I wanna shoot myself. But I don't go on the comments and say fucking Wrath. I just don't watch the video. I'm like, I'm not gonna do this. Why am I gonna? Yo, people take this shit so personally. It's like, dude, that's what you have. That's the tools that Sonic was given. Why, bro, if you're trying to win, you're gonna do what you gotta do to win. And what
I
you
said
think
this
is
about baseball actually. Like when they had the Astros cheating scandal, I told people like, at the end of the day, there's money on the line, and when you want to win, you're gonna use what you have to win.
100%. 100%. Yeah, that's
so annoying. It's so annoying, especially because like there's bias on like what characters are cool, what characters aren't cool, and it's like, dude, I'm telling you this, bro, it's because most of us are bad at the game. I'm not that good. I'm like mediocre at best, and I do decent at locals. That's it. But I understand that most people, dude, when you see top level play, they all camp. Because, dude, the guy that presses the most buttons usually doesn't win. Now, mind you, Cola and a lot of those Georgia players are crazy because, yeah, they press a lot of buttons, but their spacing is crazy. And it's like the whole theory of how much can I get off of a hit? If I jab you, what is the maximum I can get off the hit before they can press a button to counter me? Like, that's what I'm saying. That's why, like, you can't play aggressive. You see it with Southern players all the time. But that's because they understand, like, my advantage state is my advantage state, and then once it's over and it's their turn, I'm gonna stop pressing buttons. Where me, fucking O2 Captain Falcon, I'm gonna keep pressing buttons even though the shit's like minus whatever on shield. You know what I mean? That's why, dude, that shit gets me so annoyed when people rip. It's like, bro, these characters have counterplay. If they're throwing projectiles at you, unless Pac-Man's broken, that's why. But most of them don't have boxing options, which is like if you play Samus, the traditional, zoner, once you get to her like threat range, you usually can smother her. You know what I mean? But most people, once they get charge shot, they get mad, and then they blame the game, which is like, bro, it's okay to blame yourself. Like, people don't want to do that when it comes to fucking fighting games, man. Specifically Smash, I've noticed. They'll just call you lame, but it's like, you calling me lame is just deflecting your own accountability, bro. Like, I don't know what you want me to do. You don't want me to shoot charge shot with Samus? That's her best move.
It's all about the ego,
This is
man.
like a problem. This is a problem they used to have in the arcades, actually. So I feel like that's one thing that Smash at least has in common with like the old OGC. Like using like a throw in like Street Fighter 2, like back in the old days, could literally land you into like an actual fight. So that's like what do you want me to do? Like, they put throws in the game.
Yeah, right.
I use throws in the game.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. It's a lot of like, just like, oh, I can't get my way. You gotta stop it and just like stay still, or just like fucking egos run up a high. It's like, yeah, that's how like the character is. I am like a victim of one of them. I remember fucking my rage episode when I played against Jerry. Oh shit. Now I had to think about it. Yes. Oh god. Bro, I got so salty. I'm like one of those victims as well. Oh shit. But yeah.
I kept grabbing you.
Yeah, it's when you kept grabbing
Captain
me.
Falcon.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. But, like, that's there. That's, like, how the game is, That's how the character is, and that's well-astute. That's like how things are. If there are throws, you gotta throw them. There are throws in a fighting game. There's no fighting game that doesn't have a throw. If there's, like, zoning, of course there's gonna be zoning. You can't like zone on the time unless you're in Justice too, mind you, but we don't talk about that garbage. But the things.
Look, what I'm saying is like, if there isn't good counterplay, then that's indicative of probably a bad game, and you shouldn't be playing that game to begin with. That's how I am. Like, we talk about that with Justice. I'm not gonna say that far because I never really played the game, but from what I've been told, people don't like the I can't even believe they coined this term, which is footsie zoning. which is like two dudes at the corner ends of the screen shooting each other with bullets until one eventually hits and then they combo the hell off. Now, is that broken? But that's also like where I was talking about before, where it's like, is that broken in terms of skill? Because eventually one person is gonna fuck up and the other guy's like boosting their advantage state. So like in that sense, I don't think that's unbalanced. But in another sense, in terms of the spectator,
Exactly.
I don't think most people are gonna want to watch that.
Nope.
So it's like that give and take between balancing a game for balance sake and also balancing a game for the spectator that's watching it. Bro, basketball has gone through that's why I hate when fighting game people are purists are like, yo bro, do you know how crazy basketball has been? There's a reason, dude. Do you know how much an advantage you have if you're a dude who's 6'7"? Bro, the amount of shit if you could just fucking like stay at the end zone and just be able to dunk on people every day or just hold on to the ball. You know how there's a reason basketball has gone through changes, bro. It's because they want to get people to view it. Holy shit, bro. You have these tall ass dudes just in the back. Pass me the ball, bro. This guy's never gonna take it from me. There's no clock. There's not a clock. That's wild. That's wild. People are weird, man.
Keep playing all night until I feel like I won. Like, come on.
Come on. Nobody wants to see that. People want to see variety. So there has to be a give and take. Like, again, I went through that, man, when it came to Smash 4, dude. That's why I got frustrated, bro. I hated it. I just wanted to go in. I wanted to throw my body. And I got getting punished by Zin's Pac-Man. And at the time, I didn't. I just blamed the game. I was like, fuck this game. This game is trash. I can't do anything about it. I didn't learn about anything. I wasn't trying to perfect pivot on shield. I wasn't just even holding shield. The Smash 4 shield grabbing was busted. I wasn't doing that. I was like, fuck that. I want to fucking nair people. Dude, I don't want to fucking hold shield and wait. Fuck that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that was on me. And that's when Ultimate came out, I tried to learn. I hate Pikachu, bro. One of my good friends is a Pikachu main. And Captain Falcon Pikachu, that matchup is not the best. But it's doable. And instead of bitching, I learned, I was like, all right, I'm gonna look up YouTube videos. How do I do this? You can SDI at a lot of his nair groups at 0. You can actually SDI, you can trip them out. It's not guaranteed, but you can like SDI out or in, and then the Pikachu has to guess with DI. You see what I'm saying? It's not free anymore. And that's what I'm saying. Or like when I play Falco against them, I don't up tilt someone who's behind me because little piece of chicken pancake. But do you know what I mean? I understand that move, I can't use that move, so I'm gonna stop using it against Pikachu unless he's above me. It's small stuff like that that people like, instead of like, dude, it is what it is. That's why when you said like this game is dead, I actually think it's the opposite. I think like the casuals, they're already done with Smash Ultimate because there's no new characters, they don't care. For us, this is the real game.
Well, I say like
there's no patches, there's no nothing.
Well, Jerry, I say like quote unquote dead. Like there's dead. It's like it's dead because it's the final version of Sora, and like that's the end of like that game's like official update. There will be patches.
Of course.
There will be patches, but nothing really like major. No like how like new fighting games do it, like a season 4 or a season 5 or shit like that. No way. That shit is dead.
I feel it's gonna be like Third Strike. Actually, it's gonna live on for like a very long time. But without any like actual updates. Unlike Street Fighter, like Third Strike, where you only have like a couple of viable characters at the top. Smash has like a bigger advantage to like stay alive is that that balancing patch that also isn't really boring to watch either.
Have that core main or whatever come out of nowhere and start bringing upsets. That's what I'm saying. There's so many characters that are viable in this game. You might have to secondary a character for like really bad matches, but bro, you got Wolf. There you go. Literally, that's the joke of this game. Like you have your main that you'll try hard, and then you have your pocket Wolf. Not saying that, of course, you'll see like a Wolf main will do all that crazy shit, fair, back air, fair, or fair into upper into nair into like shine. But you don't need any of that shit with Wolf though. That's what's crazy about it because he can kill on like tilts. So it's like that's what's dope about this game. You can have your main, and if you have a bad matchup, you'll switch to Wolf or whatever. But that's what I mean. Like that's what's dope about these kind of games. And like for patches are cool, but once it's over, this is the game now. I can't complain.
The game that people will like talk about, like because like in Third Strike, no one ever talks about Second Impact or like the first Street Fighter 3.
No, they don't.
But they talk about Third Strike,
This is what we God, I can't complain anymore about Falco's up throw not working. It is what it is, you know what I mean? Before you could bitch because there might have been a patch that'll fix it. Now your character is the way it is. So instead of complaining about what you don't have, this is what your character's tools, and that's what you got. And that's it.
Just like in the old days, you just, because you didn't know if they were gonna like switch out like arcade machines or anything. Like, this is what you had.
100%.
100%. Okay, so I guess it's like, I do want to talk a little bit more, but I guess I feel like we covered everything on this Khaiza Dojo. Oh my god, it was like, wow, a 2 hour and a 16-minute like recording. Oh, I'm gonna do some heavy editing. But thank you guys so much. Thank you eSkater and thank you Jerry for coming on by for this Smash talk. I really love all the like ideas and like emotions you guys poured through. It means so much.
I loved it too, honestly. So I'm really grateful that you both had the patience with my audio issues.
Oh no, of course, man. You a homie eSkater. There's no way we would like not like kick you. We would not like kick you out after that and just like, you know, we waited for you. I wanted to like hear your input, and you're of course a fighting game homie. Of course, I'm gonna.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, no
It
problem.
was nice meeting you, man. eSkater, brother.
It was nice meeting you. It was nice meeting you too, Jared.
Yeah.
Of course. I think this is a good way to end it. I'm gonna head out, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah. Good night, guys. All right.
Good night.
Bye, guys.
Good night. But yeah, that's it for today. Oh my god, it feels so long, but yeah, honestly, I really like this talk. Thank you to, again, eSkater. Thank you to Jerry for coming on by on this Smash talk of 100%. You know, I love like these like talks, and hopefully we could do like another one like this. I'll have to like skim around like some topics of what we can do like group together. But for the most part, it'll just be like solo and just like talking about certain fighting game topics for the next Khaiza Dojo. I just wanted to do these. I just wanted to do this for the sake of Smash, right? Because this was a long overdue topic back in like October, and if I don't do it now, who knows? I might do it like 2 years later, and I feel really bad for not doing this at the opportune moment. And I gotta do the Smash, like, judge the Supers videos, judge the final Smashes, so I gotta, like, do that. But anyway, I guess that's it for today. Oh my god, thank you guys a ton for tuning into this, like, long-ass video. I'll probably do some, like, edits, but it still feels pretty longer than most of the other Khaiza Dojos. Next one, I'll have to like think about it when, but I'll definitely let you know. I'll definitely like give you a heads up on YouTube or something like that, or maybe on Twitter, something like that, because I do these things like random. But yeah, thank you guys a ton for tuning into this Khaiza Dojo. Thank you to the guests that came in. If you like this video, like it down below. Subscribe to the channel and comment down below what you think of Smash Brothers. I'd love to hear you guys' inputs in the YouTube realm, right? So with that said, my name is Khaiza. I'm sweaty. I'm tired. It was fun. But anyway, I'm gonna see y'all later. Peace, YouTube. I'll see y'all next time.